Welcome to the first market update of 2026. I am Ricky Walters.
He's the mortgage wise guy, wise guy.
So, first of all, we want to talk about what happened yesterday with the announcement that Freddie and Fannie are going to be buying mortgage-backed securities, and then talk about the jobs report that just came out today on January 9th. So, big news. You can see here that Trump says he's instructing representatives, which basically means the FHFA director, Bill Pulte, to buy 200 billion in mortgage-backed securities or bonds, claiming it will lower rates. Pulte says we're on it. And what was the reaction of the market? The market reaction was they loved it both yesterday and today. We've rallied up 72 basis points in these past 2 days, which is the highest level we've seen since September of 2024. So a year and a half roughly, highest, which means lower mortgage rates when the mortgage-backed security market rallies. That's what that means. In addition, last week we got, or earlier this week, excuse me, we got the JOLTS, which is the job openings and labor statistics. And you can see that they are declining. Probably a better way is this graph right here, clearly declining. Fewer job openings since the beginning of, well, going back to May 22 to where we are today. And what's also important to note is many of these openings are listed multiple times because you're able to work at home, work remotely, so they're posted in multiple states and they just add up each state's job openings and they don't screen out anyone that's duplicate from other states. So it's very likely much lower than that number, but that's what we're seeing. So now the jobs report came out this morning. January 9th for December. We got 50,000 in job openings versus 73,000 estimated. This number is always highly suspect, and you can see why it's suspect because we already lost 76,000 from the previous 2 months report. So we lost more jobs from the previous 2 months than we gained here if the job report were accurate, which they never are, and they revise lower almost every time for the following 2 months once it comes out. You can see the areas that supposedly were gaining jobs, which is healthcare and leisure and hospitality. That's been true for a very long time, that's kind of the area, the sectors of the economy that are producing the jobs. This is for the second part of the report. So the first part of the report is the establishment survey where we get the number of jobs created. The second part is the unemployment number. That actually came down from 4.5, which was revised lower from last month, to 4.4, came down a fraction. And you can see the big news here is that the reason that came down is because the participation rate shrunk, meaning fewer people are looking for jobs they give up. And so if there's fewer people participating, that looks like we're having less unemployment, um, lower unemployment. Okay, so as I've mentioned, these reports are very inaccurate, and we later see revisions. This is an example of 3 of the 12 months, so a quarter of the time last year. What was reported for the unemployment rate was then revised higher, but this is all in the past, so the market is not paying attention to it. If it did come out in real time, we would have seen lower rates in each of those months because higher employment typically means the bond market rallies and we get lower interest rates. Unfortunately, we didn't get that in real time. The news is, though, the good news is with the buying of mortgage-backed securities and unemployment continuing to trend the way that it is, rates are on the decline, opportunities for your buyers. Tell them now is a great time to buy, and I will see you very soon. This is Ricky Walters.
He's the mortgage wise guy, wise guy.